how to get an Audi A4 from, in Germany, base price 30,000 euros to double the price with 60,000 euros in a sporty manner. That's one solution here. I'm presenting to you today the new Audi S4 sedan and the Audi S4 Avant, the Kombi in German, or the estate version. On Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars with Thomas. We're going to take a look at the exterior, the differentiation to the base model, interior of course, and the performance, the driving experience. A lot of Autobahn riding here today with, let's say, quite high speeds. Stay tuned for that now in Autogefühl, full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. The new Audi A4 has those very sharp headlights in the front. The S version has stronger bumpers in the lower part, also those fake air intakes. There's nothing behind it really, it's just cover. And here now a black frame from this Audi single frame grille and of course the S4 logo. It's about understatement, it's not about this, oh I'm such a great huge sporty car. This is, you know, still in an elegant manner. That's also where this sporty car is aiming at. 4.73 m or 15'5", that's the total length of the car. The weight, however, is below 1,700 kilograms, so pretty light for the mid-size segment. Let's see, the rims, they start from 18-inch here in the S version. Those ones are 19, there are no 20-inch available. I was wondering about it, but I think those 19-inch already look pretty huge, and I mean, you don't really need 20-inch. It's maybe also not that good for the comfort. I'm really fine with those. Even the 18 one I think would be pretty fine. V6 logo here at the side one. You see, oh yeah, I get the strong engine. Contrasting mirror caps, and then the chrome frame, which is usually the chrome in the A4, is now here a black glossy flame around. Classic sedan layout. Just a little bit stronger side bumper. The car sits 23 millimeters lower than the normal A4, but overall it's still a classic layout. Again, not screaming out so much. Again, this understatement in a sporty way. Also, we just have a small rear wing. The only thing where we really see the power from the outside are those 4 exhaust pipes, and you probably also heard them. They have a pretty good sound as well. And a diffuser in the middle part, but even not that strongly stanced. But I think it's a good concept overall. Here again, less is more. And the S4 Avant, the Kombi or the estate version. Here in the Navarra blue, it's a darker blue tone and also a very beautiful one with contrasting chrome mirror caps. We also have different rims here, still 19-inch. They look bigger than they are. It looks like 20, but it's really 19, and also interesting styling here. Which one you like better, the one we had on the sedan or the ones here? And well, the main difference is just here we got a chrome prague with the chrome frames. I like that one better than the black one. And we also have got roof rails on here. And then, well, the roofline is not falling down here that much. Carries over, small rear wing, and of course it's more versatile on the inside. The rear is resembling the one of the sedan pretty much because the rear lights are pretty much the same. But then we got another window here. So I would like to know if you like the Avant or the sedan. Under the hood, wow! And great styling together with the Misano red exterior color. This V6 turbo petrol engine, not a compressor or supercharger anymore. This one is now the turbocharger. 3 liters of displacement, horsepower 354, 500 Newton meter of torque. Yes, that numbers go on. Acceleration 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 60 miles an hour. 4.7 seconds for the sedan, 4.9 seconds for the estate version, for the Avant. Why? Well, the Avant has a little bit worse of the CW value, the drag coefficient, so a little bit more wind resistance. Therefore, the sedan is a little bit faster, but of course, both very fast and faster than the predecessor model, because they've adapted the engine a little bit, changed it around, and also the car has lost weight, 75 kilograms less if you compare it to the predecessor. Very beautiful car key with the S logo. We have that all in the new MLB platform models from Audi. The door handle is flipping upwards a little bit. Very nice solution. And look here, also how the manual lock is hidden here. It's a funny solution. Of course, always very solid door sounds. That's the interior. Take a look at it, the sporty interior from the S model. Got the S Sport steering wheel with white contour stitches on the inside. Then about seats, you start with sport seats and Alcantara on the inside and real leather on the outside. These ones are the optional S Sport seats and they are only available with genuine leather. That said, I would more like that they, for example here, if we take a look at the inside of the doors, beautifully done with the microfiber on the inside. They should also offer that for the top sports seats. And let's take a seat. I would generally recommend you to leave it with the standard sports seats because they offer you a little bit more space. Those ones here have a little bit more shoulder support, especially up here. But for sporty sports seats, because you know there are these 2 levels, they are still very comfortable and you basically still got the same comfort than you would have in a normal A4 sedan. But as I said, those super sport seats, they often look better, but you lose maybe a little bit in comfort. So especially when you're tall, it's better to have a little bit more space. Electric controls here all over the place here as well. We even got a massage function for a sport seat. That is very unusual. And I'm feeling right now, it pushes me a little bit in the lower lumbar area. Again, very unusual feel. We just have in the top luxury sedans in the upper class or maybe in the biggest SUVs. Here in combination with the sports, with the S Sport seats, unusual. And well, the massage feature is quite nice to have, but it's not a must-have because it doesn't go like other high-class massage features to the very upper part of the seats. That's what I really appreciate when using great massage seat, that it goes up until here. Here it's more about the lower lumbar area. In general position here, well, it's a normal sedan seating position. It means good in comfort. The A4 also has a lot of space, a little bit more also than the A3 that differentiates us from compact to mid-size segment where we're here right now. And so you don't lose comfort by picking the S version, and this is really a sports car which is not as uncomfortable as other true sports cars. Those windows here, you see on the top side, there's a layer in between. And this is an option about, I think, 1,500 euros for the acoustic glasses in the front. That gives you even better insulation. The Audi cars are silent for itself already, but then this gives even more insulation. You can see the difference, how the normal one would look like in the rear. This is the normal window. For the rear, those insulation is not available, but here that's how it normally would look like without this special layer and foil. Cockpit overview. Of course, all the elements I'm explaining to you will take a detailed look then afterwards, but first the overview. A very clean cockpit as we used to from Audi, and at the moment, at the given time, they're presenting us the best build quality we see, also if you take the high-class luxury manufacturers into account. Horizontal orientation. For some it's too much showing of the air vents. Yeah, maybe, but what is my favorite is really the lower part. This is a very clean design. Also some kind of repetition from the front grille a little bit here with the AC area. Here in the carbon style with the Quattro logo as well. But you can also get, for example, all aluminum or aluminium, depending on if you're from the US or UK. And wood is also possible, but maybe not fitting to the S models. And here carbon fiber or aluminum would be better fitting. AC unit also with great sound from the buttons. They have really figured it out, also the lower part. And you see it's a really different sound which turning button you are using. That would be a great trick, maybe closing your eyes and then say, that is the AC button, this is the MMI button. Really interesting. Steering wheel, as I said, sporty, compact size, very slim. They have really figured it out that it feels great and sporty. Cockpit, we have got the virtual cockpit, 12.3 inch. Optional, you can also get the normal instruments if you're more like an analog instrument guy. Here we can change the view. We will soon give you a detailed look about that. And on the upper part, we now have a frameless mirror here. I really like that feature. Looks elegant, and still you got a good visibility to the rear overall. Storage spaces. Inside of the doors, you see small bottle of water does fit in here. Bang & Olufsen sound system, quite good performance. Not as good as in the Q7, but still good and expensive. Then the glove box, sliding down smoothly, that's nice, and reasonable space in here below the SD and SIM area. Then if we move into the front part, that's good because we have adaptive beverage holders. It's quite bright in here, but well, if it's dark, let's see if you can get a shot at it later. You can also have this illumination in blue, for example, of the beverage holders. Well done. Then if we move on to the automatic gearbox, got the cover of the armrest. This one can be adjusted in height, move it all the way, and then you can put it down again. And here, inductive charging for your smartphone if your smartphone or smartphone cover supports that. And here's also where the USB slots are hidden, for example, for the CarPlay connection. You can also, for cleaning purposes, you can also remove this rubber pad here. It's a good solution. Then you can really clean it very easily because there's maybe a lot of stuff gathering here over the time. And one hidden storage space left next to the steering wheel. Instruments, virtual cockpit, as I said, optional. You can change the view right here and to have your, different information more in the middle part. For example, here also, well, that's with racing stuff. You can get the consumption a little bit lower, but well, never below 10 liters, of course. Or here and stuff, and GPS information can be displayed there as well, but you can change the view also. Wow, this is a very sporty view. Then you can change the digital information on the left side at the steering wheel with the turning knob. That is also possible. And you can also change it through that view. For example, that you have the GPS in here with a satellite view. That's of course only if you have the highest option for the GPS that is possible, the phone, or also your music information. That's good that you can really change that around. But again, analog instruments have also something classic. Then the infotainment screen, it's not retractable like in the old A4 or in the A3. That's really a pity that it's just always attached here. You go through the system with the turning and touching knob. I'll soon show you that one in detail as well. Car is always interesting because you can change the driving modes. We talk about them when we drive the car. And you can also now change, when you also see this symbol, you can use the new side buttons to hop left and right, for example. And for example here to the AC, auto recirculation, something like these. Then let's go back to the menu. Radio, media, telephone, you can connect it here via Bluetooth. That works flawlessly, also very fast. GPS, I've shown you it in a virtual cockpit. You can also use the drawing button like this. For here, for example, I want to head to Berlin. I just write it on the touchpad in the lower part. I can also soon show you that. But already then I can go to Berlin, for example, Berlin Center, and navigate there. Let's see how fast it goes. Central Berlin. 7 is the name for the... Nah, I don't want to store as favorite. Let's say, let's do this route now. Show you. So it works pretty fast as well. Let's see how long it takes to calculate. Can't do anything yet. There it is. And how to zoom in and out here with the satellite view again. Near the River Rhine in Germany here today, there's the River Rhine. So let's hop further. Audi smartphone interface. And for example, I can connect the smartphone here. Activate Apple CarPlay. Yes, I agree. And that's it here. And then we got the Apple CarPlay and can change to my phone, listen to music, read messages and so on. And always can go back to the Audi MMI as well. And then here for CarPlay, I'm back in the business right here and can listen to the music, for example. Yeah. AC unit, my favorite part here, definitely. Great buttons, then clear visual display. And also these here, when I touch my hand on it, it gets bigger here. It's nice, but nothing is happening yet. Yeah, DJ Thomas in the AC house. And then I can click it and go through the buttons from pressing upside or downside. So such a nice and clean solution still for the AC. My favorite AC unit, I think. And then the central lower unit. Those ones are hotkeys, favorites. For example, one goes to your home address. You cannot use it in Apple CarPlay to dial the number. That's sad. It would have been a great solution. Then hotkeys to, for example, GPS and map, to phone, radio or media. Menu button, always going back. And then those side buttons, they are displayed in the main menu. Sometimes you can use them to go faster to such a certain menu. Then this normal turning and pressing knob to reach everything, and as I was writing the address, I was doing it like this, so that's possible then as well. Of course, it's not coming from a standard equipment. You also have to add, get this optionally, otherwise it's a little bit smaller and doesn't have this touchpad function. And the automatic gearbox does a great job to handle this great torque, and you can, for example, just put it down and then that's it. Park mode right here, easy solution, and electric handbrake. And here, for storing the key, also a fitting solution. And the rear, for the sedan, or the limousine we say in German, also in this S Sport style. What I like styling-wise is that we got this quilted structure on the seat. And then let me get inside. The S Sport seat are of course a little bit different from the rear part. I feel they're a little bit bulky, and this is the seat how I would be driving. And one of the main features of the all-new A4 generation is that we got more rear knee space, and you really seen it also in our A4 review. Same here in the S4. So even if you have the sport seats, two tall people can sit behind each other, knee space wise. Here Headspace wise, no panoramic roof. That still works. 190 in height would work. I'm 186 in meters, or what was it, 6'1" or 6'2", something between that. That still works. Of course, if you go for the Avant, the estate version, then the roofline continues further. That one is better, you know, for driving with tall people. But if we look at the segment, here in the midsize segment, already a good result. Of course, there are even better ones, for example, the Skoda Superb. The Passat is also quite nice in that one, but here already a good result for a very sporty sedan. And the seating position in itself, well, it's not that upright, but in general also comfortable, so I wouldn't moan about that at all. For rear passenger comfort, we also have this armrest with, you know, some storage space, for example, smartphone. That's maybe not that beautiful, it just flips down. And then we have beverage holders here in the front. Look a little bit, you know, Star Wars alike, I think. Here, right there, and you can flip it in again. And, well, here, for example, you can also open it to the trunk and use it as a ski hatch. That is possible as well. And you can also close it, for example, but I'm not sure why would I want to lock it afterwards. I don't know, like, I mean, when it's closed then you can lock it here, but I don't see a reason why would you do that. I don't know. So that's one setup here. Then another notable thing is optionally you get 3-zone AC, and that means you also got AC here in the rear. And even here in the rear, the sound, clicking sound of the buttons is nice. Set temperature here, and also the 12-volt power supply in the rear. Even this one here with this quilted structure or knurled structure around the button, really great stuff. And as I mentioned it quite sometimes, you just have that in Bentleys, but here in Audi already from the A3. Does the A1 also have that? I have to check that next time. At least I know the A3 already has that. And for the full flip action, you flip it here also from behind. I've shown you that one here as well. It's a little bit trickier to get here, and then the last one is possible right here. There it is, and then we got everything, everything flipped. And then we have access to the trunk, and then you can also load longer things. But of course, if you want it more versatile, the estate version is of course always way to go. And heading over to the trunk again, I want to show you here the cascading lights you can get in the higher trim level lights in the rear. Then you can either open the trunk here or the boot, depending on where you come from, or with the button here. Then you see it flips open automatically. Good solution, especially when you're approaching the car. Of course, it's better to have the estate version or the Avant if you want to load a lot of things. But for a sedan, I think it's quite reasonable space. You have flippable hangers here from the ceiling here and here, and then you can order also this net, and that's how it works. And especially with this car where you drive a little bit faster, then it's good to secure your stuff like this, and then it's really hold tight. 12-volt power supply is right here. Blap blap. And when we remove the net again, I can also show you what's beneath here. And especially for our friends in the US, I know you really appreciate that. Full replacement tire, way to go. 19 inches, well, but not such nice rims, of course. And main difference, of course, electric hatch from Series equipment. The cover here moves up automatically, and then also a chrome cover, very nice, also soft, great to touch here as well, and good build quality. More space than here now, very easy to load the car. Of course, also remove the cover here totally, and the main difference is as well, you can flip the rear bench from the rear. You see, only one thing is it's not flipping automatically. You have to push it first there. There it is. And then you can load things through. You can also, again, use just the middle part as a ski hatch, but this one, of course, the more versatile solution overall. also a look into the interior in the front, because a little bit different combinations here. First of all, the black seating surface, again with the S Sport seats, which I would not go for. I would just leave it with the standard ones, then with Alcantara on the inside. Also here, that's a great feature with a flattened end steering wheel. I always like that. I would go for that one. And you see also it has a better grip here on the side. Interesting feature. And you'll see it here in the middle console, and also at the inside of the doors here with the matte or brushed aluminum. I think I would go for that one, not for the carbon style. Or what would you? And especially in this area here, it looks really great. So I would really go for this solution here. It looks awesome. Driving part, Autobahn, let's go. That's where this car is at home, I'd say. At the moment 100, we can also set the cruise control, so this car also can be calm and loud at the same time. Well, not at the same time, of course. At the same time, in the sense of it can be loud and it can be silent. So we have acceleration part in this driving part here as well, of course. Of course, soon we can also hammer the throttle really hard, and we also have a countryside part where we more test the agility of the car. So definitely look forward to that. So at the moment still 100. So it's not always with the German Autobahn that you can always drive unlimited speed. There are just certain parts where you can do that, and sometimes we are also searching for those. So let me just first introduce you to the driving part here as well. As I said earlier, V6 petrol engine with a turbo now, not a compressor anymore, not a turbo, not a supercharger anymore, but a turbocharger, 354 horsepower. And as we are on the way in the sedan, 4.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. To do with the CW value, the Avant or the estate version is a little bit slower. Here we also have the acoustic pack. That means that the front windows are insulated better. I've shown it earlier. What about our dB meter? You can see when we're driving rather slower, 80 kilometers an hour. 69, 70 dB. That's a good result also from the dB meter. And we can prove that ourselves when the car is running rather slowly. Also here in the tunnel, I don't have to raise my voice that much. So overall, I think a good result, definitely. And it also has something to do with this optional insulation package you can get, of course. So if you want to have it silent in the car, then go for this option, definitely. We also got the automatic cruise control in here. That means the distance is kept from the cars in front of you and back again. And we also have the normal D mode and the sport mode. Sport mode, then the gears are turned up higher, RPMs are turned up higher, and so shifting characteristics change. And you can hear that, for example, when I fall back a little bit and accelerate in D mode. For example, like this. So that was D mode. And then when we go to the S mode, then we automatically are a gear lower. So let me see where we have to go here now. To check the route. GPS, by the way, overall very satisfying. A good visualization. You can also very well realize it as a driver. That's no problem. So I'm in the S mode now, and I think we'll approach now also an Autobahn part where we can hit the throttle a little bit harder. That's of course better for this car, because most of the time you don't really use the power this car really has. So let's change the lanes, test the utility, and also hit the throttle. Now again the S mode, and I think you'll hear the difference. So turned up higher, later shifting, and you also heard a better sound then. Really nice. And well, it fits a little bit also to the exterior because it's not that exaggerated. You know, some cars, some sporty cars, they're like, and you're like, wow. But that's not where this car is aiming at. This car, we've also seen in the exterior, is more about understatement, but still having a lot of power. So the sound is nice and refined, but it's not that you know, want to be a poser too much. And I think overall I like that because, well, there's some saying loud is out, and I've also preferred more when there's a nice refined sound. It's not just loud, you know, but rather refined. Or what's your opinion on that one? Really looking forward to that. The suspension, this car, as we talked about earlier, sits 23 millimeters lower. Of course, therefore it's also sportier, stiffer here in the suspension. I can really see just very small commands from the steering wheel have a direct effect. Although it's a mid-size sedan, it does feel like a go-kart on the road, so great agility we have here definitely. However, the suspension is still not uncomfortable at all. So if we got some, like here, a little bit of an uneven road, still does a very good job. But now speed is turning to unlimited. Let's see, 90 to whatever. That's 200. 230. Okay. Yeah, that's 240. Okay. Yeah. I think I don't have to explain this performance that much. And this was one of the very rare parts where we can hammer the throttle here in Germany. Now we're stuck in traffic. But you know, stuck in traffic means 160 kilometers an hour, you know. That's also stuck in traffic, yeah. Talking about that. Really impressive, and I think the interesting thing here was also you don't feel pushed too far in the seats. It's not like some of other sports cars, true sports cars, where the forces on your body are extreme. Here it just feels like, okay, it's an easy exercise for the car, and again, this very refined engine masters it really well. So it's also a comfortable, sporty driving again. You see here, speed is again limited. I have to hit the brakes. 19-inch rims on the outside, again, good comfort. And I can just stress, by driving the car, I'm really satisfied that we don't have 20-inch alloys, because those can also get a little bit uncomfortable then, maybe if you have too huge alloys, because you know you lose also space from the tire, and the tire itself can always, of course, soften the ride a little bit. Wow. Nice, isn't it? I know you guys like Autobahn riding here at Autogefühl. Some typical German thing. Yeah, I was talking about the suspension. And you know I'm a fan of air suspension, but here with the sporty cars you usually don't use the air suspensions to make it a stiffer ride. But here you get a very good compromise, and that's why I would also always go for such a sport car like this, because you can combine still, you know, everyday comfortable riding and being in a sports car. So that's really good compromise they found here. Also, in general, with the A4, you have maybe seen that with the normal A4 review we have, that you have different suspensions, standard one, and then there are also the adaptive suspensions. There you can have a rather sporty one or also a more comfortable one, but they're all very good, definitely. So here the sport suspension, more support. Car is hardly tilting, 60 kilometers an hour here in this 180-degree turn. Really feels great. And the car feels so much smaller than it actually is. And interesting is also the comparison to the A3 we've driven recently. Also great compact car. This one here is more comfortable. Yes, it offers me more space in the front, especially when you're a tall driver. And the riding is also more refined. You feel the longer wheelbase. This here has a feeling of sovereignty. The A3 is a little bit more aggressive. Think like, let's push it. But here you can push it. But as soon as you lift the foot from the throttle, you can also say, okay, I just leave it the way it is and I'm satisfied by that. That's also fine. But now again, we also have the big RPM meter. You can change the view with the virtual cockpit again, but here for you also good to see the digital meter. I go to the S mode and I can also shift with the pedals here. So I can manually shift down, go to M, 5th gear for example, you also hear that. And we can hammer the throttle once more. I can also go to 4th gear. And shift now myself. And you see when I really turn it up and shift myself, then we also hear more from the exhaust. Let's go. Bam. And 200 again. Wow. And feels really easy and oh, now traffic again, you see, that's what I meant. Oh, now it's a real traffic jam. Oh no. How can you do this to Autogefühl viewers? Come on, guys. Really, say something to those guys causing a traffic jam. Well, but we've shown you a lot here already with the performance of the Audi S4. So it's really, I think the main thing that they found this great compromise between sportiness and comfort, and I really like that. So I think we close our Autobahn part here, and then we also have some agility part on the countryside road where it's more about cornering. We can tell you something more about agility and turning in here. But you see already at lower speeds, the car's reacting very good. Also, I can just do it with one hand. So it's also good for city traffic. Also, BMW 6 Series. Maybe crashed, I don't know. So at lower speeds or in the city, it's already good to have the very progressive steering, that you don't have to have such high steering angles. And again, this also helps you with sporty driving. Oh well, that went quite fast. I was afraid it was maybe a longer traffic jam. So we can probably have one more acceleration here. Well, now speed reduced again. Yeah, but I think we got lucky that we had some situations where we can really push the throttle. And now let's jump to our nice agility part. Alright, countryside driving, one of my favorite disciplines in car reviews, because I love enjoying the scenery. Best would be in a convertible, of course. No convertible today, but a true sports car. Well, a true sports car, okay, a mid-sized sports car, but it feels like a true sports car. Let's take it that way. So, and we have a lot of fun when we are in a better scenery and also can hammer the throttle. And I'm already seeing in the GPS there will be some very nice corners ahead. Looking forward to that. Here at 50 kilometers an hour, by the way, I mean, city driving, see here, vineyard. Car gets really silent. That's great. And also nice that inside the city you can drive it silently without annoying, some others, because there are also cars that tend to annoy people in the city, and questions, even if you feel good yourself doing it, do you also, when like living here, do you always want to have sports cars passing by? Maybe that's not music in everyone's ears, Inside the city, it's also, a normal agile car to drive and to cruise around and to park around. So you don't feel, also here in narrow streets, It's perfectly fine. You don't feel that you're maybe annoyed by too big size of the car. Length was, as I said earlier, 4 meters 70, just right above that, and that's still okay. With the Estate, you have a better feeling of where the car is ending. Of course, here I don't see the very rear end of the car. It's okay. I mean, if you have the PDC or also the rear view camera, then it's fine anyway. Other than that, overview to the sides is pretty good, so can't complain about that. Right up here, we know Twingo in front of us. I think we have to do something about that when we get to a faster road. So getting uphill. Getting such a great ride here. Here again. Now the car can work a little bit more. Let's see if we're still on the right track. Click, click from the GPS to zoom in. No, we are not on the right track, but that always comes for a good exercise. I'm just turning the car now. Rear view camera. You see how easy it was to turn the steering wheel, and that's it already. There you see that the car is still very agile also in the city, and that would also be important to me, because especially when you're approaching your own house or something like that. And visually we also have something very nice for you now, because we also have another S4 from a colleague in front of us. And maybe when we do this nice corners here, we can also show you, yeah, there it is. Because, you know, then you can listen to me talking, and when we switch off to the other camera, you see the other car in front of us. It's the same color, same 4-pipe exhaust. We stand on red end. Also heard the sound. So now we're getting free space and more agility testing. Seat ready. Wow, how great it is. Nice. Really a lot of fun to steer it around. S4 Avant, also from the driving event. What is he doing here? Okay, they want to play around somewhere else. But here we have a freeway now to test. I go into the S mode. Just listen to it. Nice, isn't it? Sometimes it's just fun to cruise the car around and do this right and left style, so to really test the suspension. I can also see the boost in the right lower part for this turbo engine. Consumption, by the way, if you play around a little bit, will also be close to 12 to 13 liters on 100 kilometers. If you're really riding it very calm, you can also get close to 10 liters, but never to the official stated figures, which are, I think, around 8 liters on 100 kilometers. That's not happening really. Wow. So sporty and comfortable ride at the same time. I really liked it. Oh, now we are inside the forest. We can do another acceleration from standstill. There's no one here. And here in the forest we'll also hear more of the sound. So, let's see what we can do. So, that was Auto 100 kilometers now, and which number did we score? Maybe someone checked that. Very interesting. Also interesting, by the way, I can show you that maybe once more as well, that even without a special launch control, just by hitting the brakes, again hitting the brakes and then pushing the throttle, see it goes up until 3000 RPM. That's a good thing, because usually, you know, car is reduced there in the braking process. Very interesting. So let's see, with the drive select we can also go to the dynamic mode here. That is possible as well. Then we have everything even set more on dynamic behavior. Also as for the throttle input. But to me, I mean, the car is sporty enough. It doesn't change too much stuff. And you maybe have seen the problem we had with the S3, this overboost problem within the dynamic mode. Does it happen here? No, not really. That's fine. So we had this problem that we had the turbo lag in the dynamic mode in the S3, but that was also the 2-liter engine. Here the 3-liter one obviously does not have a problem with that. Nice corners here now. Yeah, you maybe heard it that the dynamic mode also changes a little bit more, even that we can hear a little bit more of the sound as well. So we can also turn off theoretically to the ESC to ESC Sport, clicking it once and holding it twice, then so clicking and holding it, you can completely shut it off. Usually you don't need to do that in city driving. Here at dry roads doesn't make such a difference now, but when we're, for example, at wet roads, then you shouldn't do that. The Quattro overdrive usually works 60% in the rear, 40% in the front, so it's a permanent overdrive. It's a different Quattro system than, for example, in the compact class with the A3. So Quattro is not always the same overdrive. Behind Quattro, I think they have 4 or 5 different kind of all-wheel drive systems. They're just using it as a brand overall together. Here, permanent overdrive, a little bit with a rear bias. But of course, the torque can also be changed a little bit from front to rear. So I think we showed you a lot of impressions. Here we get outside the city once more. Oh, there's a speed camera. We always have to watch out for that, so we always try to obey the speed limits. Now we're getting outside again. Can hammer through a little bit more. That's already 100. Okay, it was downhill now, of course. Such a nice ride. I hope you really enjoyed it here together with us. Wow. Very, very, very nice. Another sharp right. And brakes also work pretty well. And now the conclusion, Audi S4 Sedan and Avant, or the estate version. Overall, of course, if you want to have it more versatile, go for the estate version. But if you maybe, not transporting so much, don't have a big family, and just say, okay, I want that beautiful roofline, then of course the S4 Sedan is the choice for you, the limousine. Overall, from the exterior, understatement is the main topic, not that screaming out as other sports cars. And that's, a thing of philosophy. Either you maybe want to scream out, want to have a very attractive, aggressive sports car, or you maybe want to something more elegant, then this one is the right choice for you. The interior as refined as ever, so a very, very high build quality. Also infotainment wise, we are up to date, definitely. We got the virtual cockpit optionally, which is very well accepted on the market. But again, as I said, you can always go for the analog ones as well. Only thing is missing are more choices for the surfaces of the seat, of course, as I mentioned. Then driving, a really refined driving experience, not too harsh, it's not the harshest sports car. To me, it would be a good compromise between everyday driving and sportiness, and of course, a lot of power under the hood with this 3-liter turbo. We've shown you the Autobahn part, so you won't lack any performance at all, of course not. But of course, with those turbo engines, the consumption always goes higher than, for example, even with the bigger, naturally aspirated engine. Looking forward to your remarks to this car in exterior, interior and the driving. Which one would you go for? Which color? Misano red? Maybe special color Navara blue or Daytona gray, which are available for the S models. Would you choose the estate? Tell me that one in the comments. Looking forward to that. And of course, I'm looking forward to meet you again at the next Autogefühl episode. Thanks for watching and bye.